The Earth isn't round anymore because it never was, because it's flat. Let me enlighten you about the flat Earth theory. You can see here what the flat Earth really looks like. The North Pole is actually in the center of the flat disk Earth. And Antarctica is a 200-foot tall wall of ice that surrounds the entire perimeter of the flat Earth. It's not some landmass at the bottom of an imaginary globe. There is so much deception and misunderstanding that hides this truth from people.
This is Feed Your Mind, a so popular YouTuber, comedian JP, who has a couple of YouTube channels, and he tackles serious subjects using comedy. And I think one of his channels is called Awaken with JP. I don't really know the name of his other channel, but I came across one of his older videos. And so in this older video, it looks like JP is actually a flat earther. Now, like I said, he uses comedy in a lot of his videos to get serious subjects out there. So it's possible that he was trolling, but I think this guy really is a flat earther because of the things he was saying about flat earth. So, you can't really take this guy too serious, but, usually when he is making comedy sketches, he's definitely trying to get a point across. So when he's talking about flat earth, he's going into a lot of the topics of flat earth that really shows me that he is aware of the subject and he looked deeply into it. And I would guess that he is a flat earther based off of the things he was saying. Like, he was talking about the emergency plane landings where DITRH is usually the main one talking about these emergency plane stops, but a lot of others talk about this too. And they're saying how that proves a flat earth based on where these planes are landing. It really would make no sense on a globe earth, but when these emergency landings take place and you map it on a flat earth AE map, it definitely looks like the earth is flat based on where these planes are landing. And so you can look more into that if you want. But then JP goes on to talk about the earth spinning and making jokes about that and basically saying that the earth is not spinning. Then he talks about how gravity isn't what we are told. Really, gravity is just, you drop something, it's heavier than air. It's not really much to really think too much about. I think a lot of people overthink the whole gravity thing. It's like, hey, if something's heavier than air, it's definitely falling. That's that. Buoyancy, weight, things like that. Anyways, JP talks about Neil deGrasse Tyson, kind of trolling him, talking about he's not really, that bright, I guess. So he also goes into Antarctica, and that's pretty much a common thing. Most people that have researched anything about flat earth, usually they know a little bit about Antarctica, you would think. That's kind of one of the main subjects of flat earth is Antarctica. So JP also goes into how there's no measurable curvature. So a lot of the globe earthers, they get confused by the horizon. They get confused by what looks like the apparent horizon versus the actual physical horizon. So, the way the horizon works, it kind of looks sometimes like, oh, well, that's the globe right there. We can see how the earth is curving from the beach. But really, when you look more into it, it's definitely much more sophisticated than what it appears, especially when you get the powerful zoom lens cameras. You can really start to see how people can be fooled by thinking that you can see curvature from a lake and stuff like that. So JP also goes into the sun and the moon being the same size. And that's a pretty good one too, because it's like with the eclipse and stuff like that, people are saying basically the sun and the moon appear to be the same size on a flat earth model. And JP talks about circumnavigation, which is another one that a lot of the globe earther people, they kind of get fooled very easy with the circumnavigation. They can't figure out that their globe model is the same thing. It's a circle. You're going in a big circle. They're thinking that you just go straight and you end up right back where you started on a globe. But no, you go relative to the north. when you are traveling on a globe. It's even more obvious on a globe that you're going in a big circle. Come on, look at the ball Earth. It's like, that's obviously a circle. You're never going in a straight line on a globe. There's a lot of curvature. A lot of globe earthers just don't understand this. It doesn't take much to figure it out once you get the education, once you get the right person explaining it to them. Yeah, relative to north on a flat earth or globe earth, you're going to be making slightly a turn to make it all the way around. You're not going in a straight line. So a lot of people need to figure that stuff out. That's just basic flat earth stuff that, you know, shouldn't be too hard to explain to people. JP also goes into NASA. You know, that's a big one, definitely, and pretty obvious for flat earthers to go against NASA and expose all of the green screen technology that we've noticed and the impossibilities of the moon travels with the Van Allen radiation belts. And there's all types of things when it comes to NASA. I remember one of the things I used to have trouble understanding was how they were always like, it looks like they were tossing a microphone around in zero gravity. I was like, how does that work? You know, how are they doing that? But then we learned about augmented reality, and a lot of the objects you see is floating around. A lot of those objects are computer simulated into the footage. So, and then there's zero G planes and all types of ways to simulate outer space. So JP also goes into my favorite one, which is the fake Earth pictures, where, yeah, none of those pictures are real. I'm glad I'm hearing this a lot more, because I've complained about it for a while. A lot of flat earthers, they just get so advanced, they don't bring up how, yeah, the pictures of the Earth are fake. It doesn't take much to look into. I mean, you could just look into it. It'll probably take a day before the average person can figure out that those pictures are not real. You can even go to NASA themselves and look at the small print and figure this stuff out. This was my first real revelation about flat earth when I really looked into that, and I discovered that, yeah, those pictures are definitely not real. There's all types of ways to figure that out. You just got to look into it. I've done plenty of videos on that. And then JP concludes his flat earth discussion by talking about how Copernicus, you know, like, he's basically a religious figure for the science believers and the globe believers. You know, they're going off of what Copernicus had came up with. And this guy, he's definitely part of the club, if he even existed, where, yeah, there's a big deception that happened, and Copernicus was one of the main characters involved in getting this deception going 500 years ago. People think people just believed in the globe earth forever, but no, it's actually a pretty recent thing. There's all types of evidence that shows us that globe earth is a pretty new concept relatively. I've done a lot of research on that as well. Go back in my videos. I got playlists about the history of the earth and stuff like that. So yeah, after looking at this comedy sketch from JP, I would have to conclude that it looks like he's a flat earther. I mean, with all that detail, he definitely looked into it deeply. You can't just, you know, you could tell like the difference between a Mr. Beast flat earth video, who is he started off kind of like a comedian as well. And he did a flat earth video a long time ago, and it was horrible. You could tell he didn't look into anything about flat earth. It was so goofy, and he thought he was funny, I guess, but the joke was really on him, on Mr. Beast, because his flat earth video is one of the most cringiest videos I've ever seen. I mean, you can tell when someone doesn't know the topic. You can tell he did zero research on the subject by the things he was saying. I can't even recall everything he was doing in that video, but it was horrible. So when I looked at that versus JP in his video, I'm like, okay, well, JP must definitely be a flat earther, and he is obviously pretty quiet about it now. I guess he's moved on to other subjects, and he hasn't really revisited the topic as far as I know of, but it'd be kind of cool to maybe get him on an interview. Maybe somebody who does interviews like Jeranism or anyone else out there that does flat earth interviews. That'd be kind of cool to get him on and maybe ask him about this flat earth video that has resurfaced. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This has been Feed Your Mind. I'm going to leave some links for you so you can check out the video If you want to check out the JP video in its entirety. Also, I'll leave links to my other channels, my social media, my Feed Your Mind store, my free email newsletters, and much more. If you would like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help keep this channel online. Your support is very important. I also have a membership option. I have Patreon option, which is my preferred option, and much more. I'm going to get so much more documentary style videos out for you as well with your support. So thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Feed Your Mind signing off.